I just wanted to go back to one of the points which you have for Islamic rules being the hadith about Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam being bewitched.
Okay.
You gave the hadith that he was bewitched, and then the Quran verse. Can you say the Quran verse again, please?
That the powers of Satan only works on those who follow him. They don't work on those who believe in the Lord, their Lord.
Yeah. And then so your overall point was that the Satan causes bewitchment, but I don't think it's accepted that bewitchment is caused by Satan in Islam.
Do you believe that bewitchment is of the powers of Satan or the devil, or do you believe it's from God?
No, I don't think it's by I don't think it's by the devil.
Is it by God?
No, I'm pretty sure most Muslims. So bewitchment, I think black magic is like an equivalent to bewitchment. I think. Yeah, I think Muslims believe it's by jinns, and shaitan is a category of jinns.
He's a category of jinn, right?
No, that's disputed against, but most people don't think he's a category of jinns. If you look it up,
the Quran says he's a jinn.
No, I think the accepted view is that he's not a jinn.
What do you mean the accepted view? The Quran. I'm sorry, I'm not even laughing at you. I promise. Please don't. I'm very lighthearted, so I have fun when I have these conversations. But bro, you're saying the accepted view. Is the Quran not an accepted view?
No, I mean the Islamic tradition. They don't. It's not like concrete whether shaitan is a jinn or not. It's like something which they disagree about.
So if the Quran says explicitly that Satan was a jinn, that's not agreed upon?
Where does the Quran say he's a jinn? Because there's another point too, that even if he is a jinn, that doesn't mean, because there's different subcategories of jinn, if you know. So there are good jinns, there are bad jinns. Even within the bad jinns, different jinns do different things.
So if we go to the Quran and open it up, go to chapter 18, verse 50, it says, and when we said to the angels, prostrate to Adam, so they prostrated except Iblis. He was one of the jinns. He disobeyed the command of his Lord. Will you then take him and his offspring as protectors and helpers rather than me while they are enemies to you? What an evil is the exchange of the wrongdoers. So it explicitly says that he is a jinn. So how is that not an accepted view if the Quran is explicit on that? Now that confuses me.
Well, yeah, you know that's different jinns. So some jinns are good, some jinns are bad.
You may have a good jinn, you may have a bad jinn, but he's a jinn nonetheless.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. And your point about black magic and bewitchment being upon the Prophet, peace be upon him, doesn't it mean, can it not be that you can have black magic put upon you, but it not be from the devil himself? But it be from...
Well, let's say that it is from another devil, right? Another demon or jinn, you guys call them jinn, another evil entity, right? But these are the evil powers and the workers of evil. Dark magic, black magic is evil power. Wouldn't you agree?
Black magic is evil power, yeah.
Okay. So this evil power, these are the powers of Satan or demons, jinn.
So it
can't work against believers.
Yeah. So it can be the work of evil jinns, but that doesn't mean the devil himself, so shaitan.
Let me grant it to you. That may be another demon bewitched Muhammad. Not Satan, but another demon, another evil entity bewitched Muhammad. And so what this is saying is that you're saying that the verse says that specifically Satan's powers don't work on people who believe, but other jinns, their powers can work on believers. Is that what you're saying?
Well, does the verse not specifically say the devil?
That's what I just restated.
Yeah. So other jinns can do evil stuff. It doesn't just have to be shaitan.
Yeah. So you're saying that other jinns their powers will work against people who believe.
Yeah.
But Satan's powers, specifically Satan's powers, Iblis's powers, won't work against those who believe.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll grant that to you. So, demons' power, demonic, other jinns powers can work against believers, and thus we have an example where Muhammad is being under the control of another demon.
Well, you said demons. They can be
This
a jinn as well.
this still shows that he's jinns are demons.
Yeah. So because black magic isn't something specific to demons itself. It can be people use black magic and use the power of jinns to enact that black magic.
So these are evil powers, right?
In the hadith you told, I think before that it was that someone had put a piece of his hair around a comb, and that's what led to him being bewitched, I think.
So these are evil powers, right? Working against Muhammad, him being bewitched and overtaken.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean it has to be shaitan.
This is why he's a false prophet.
What? That point doesn't follow. Your main point was that the hadith contradicts the Quran verse.
No, that wasn't my main point. No, I only brought up the Quran verse to show that even in the Quran it attests that the powers of Satan can't work against those who believe. Now, I don't think that you brought up a strong argument, but your argument doesn't solve the problem that Muhammad is still under demonic control.
Yeah. Exactly.
That was my argument.
I understand. I understand. Your argument was that a real prophet wouldn't have bewitchment be put upon him.
Correct.
Be put upon him, and then someone can ask you, wait, you might think that, but why do Muslims have to think that a true prophet can't have bewitchment put upon them? So then you brought up the Quran verse.
Well, that's fine. If you want to believe that a prophet can be bewitched, can be under demonic control. Be my guest. It is. That's what it is.
Black magic
and you can have that. Like, if you want that, be my guest, bro. Believe in a bewitched prophet. Me personally, I choose to think otherwise, and I know that from reading the prophets that you can't be bewitched. The evil spirits cannot overcome the power of the Spirit of God that's upon the prophets. And, so if you want to believe in a bewitched prophet, be my guest. You got a free will, man. Do your thing. Okay. I don't believe that a prophet can be bewitched. And therefore, how can I trust him? It's just, it doesn't make sense.
Well, you can trust him because after, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but after this bewitchment, it wasn't demonic. Demonic powers is different from bewitchment. In Islam, it's different.
What's the difference between the difference is dark magic, black magic working on someone, and demonic powers?
Yeah, there's a difference because
what is it?
Because do you accept that jinns? You can have jinns who aren't demons.
No, jinns are demons.
Then how can you have good jinns?
That's your worldview. You're saying that there are good jinns, and that's what a jinn will tell you. That's what a demon would have you believe, is that they can be good.
Well, no, in Islam, in our religion, we believe jinns can be good and jinns can be bad. So
I know that's a demonic lie. You believe that jinns, demons, can be good. That's if that ain't a demonic deception, I don't know what is, bro. Come on, man.
But we're having this conversation in the scope of Islam, so you can't like disagree.
I'm criticizing Islam.
Yeah, exactly. You criticize Islam through our lens, through our scope.
I'm not criticizing Islam through your lens. I'm recognizing what Islam teaches, and I'm criticizing it. The fact that in Islam you believe that there can be jinn that are good is another evidence of a demonic deception, because demons are having you believe that they can be good.
Okay, well, I think that talking about that wouldn't lead to anything, because you believe jinns can only be bad, and I believe, and Muslims believe, jinns can be good and bad. So do you have any other things apart from
Muhammad being bewitched?
Yeah, which you said, that point about Muhammad being bewitched, and
So just
the
to be clear,
that it's possible for him to be bewitched.
So just to be clear, you believe that prophets can be bewitched and therefore still trusted?
They can be bewitched and still trusted. Yes.
All right. So that's your belief. That's fine. I can't reason you, make you drink the water. It's you're gonna hold on to that. That's fine. But yeah. So Muhammad was bewitched. Muhammad contradicted the teachings of the prophets. Muhammad went against, taught some pretty, heinous things.
I was listening to your live. Shall we go back to the one after that about there were two Quran verses contradicting each other?
If you want.
One about clear verses and specific verses, I think.
If you want.
Yeah. So I think. Could you repeat the one about clear verses? Because I think I've had an answer to this, but...
Well, chapter 3, verse 7 says there's clear and unclear verses. Chapter 16, verse 89 says that the Quran is a clarification of all things. Chapter 16, verse 89.
So, a clarification of all things was the first one. I'm pretty sure by all things there's a context to it. So by all things, it means like, for example, morality, laws, what you can and can't do. That's what it means by that verse.
Does it clarify that in that verse?
Verse 16, chapter 16, verse 89.
You just read it. Does it clarify that in the verse?
Well, I read it from the comments. I'm just trying to find it on,
Does it say all things regarding morality, laws, unlawfulness?
No, but I think like the context of the verse implies that that's what it means, if that makes sense. So when you're reading scripture, you have to look at the context, and the context says, and we have sent down to you the book as a clarification for all things, and as a guidance and a mercy, and good tidings for the Muslims. So if you read it in the context, especially when it's talking about the Day of Judgment, the context is that it's giving clarification for everything a Muslim needs.
That's not what it says at all, and the context doesn't say that at all. It says it doesn't say it's giving you clarification of what a Muslim needs.
No,
it says that it says that it clarifies all things.
Yeah, context doesn't say. You have to read context, like
it's not in the context that when it's talking about just the needs of the Muslims, and so therefore when it says clarification of all things, that's really just talking about the things that are necessary for believers. It doesn't say that. That's nowhere in the context.
No, clarification for all things. So everything you need clarification of, it gives you clarification.
Where does it say that? You'd have a point if it said that.
No, you can't. You say if it said that, you can't. Context isn't put in words. Context is
put in words. Context is put in words.
It's understood through the passage. It's not put in words. You can't.
Yeah, so there's nothing in the passage that says otherwise. There's nothing in the passage that says otherwise that qualifies what all things is. Like, for example, there's another verse that says that Allah sent the destruction on a people and it destroyed all things.
Yeah.
Except their houses.
Yeah.
Right? So it qualifies what all things is. Right? Here, in the context, it doesn't qualify it.
No, yeah. So the context in the verse you mentioned, we destroyed all things except, and then it tells you what they didn't destroy. Context in this case is, and mention the day when we will resurrect among every nation a witness over from themselves, and we bring you down, O Muhammad, peace be upon him, as a witness over you. And we have sent you down the book as a clarification for all things, and as a guidance and mercy and good tidings for the Muslims. So it's a clarification of everything you need. And then, so when you talk to the other guy, then you go...
Wait, why did you say, so it's a clarification of everything you need when it didn't say that? Say what it says.
I'm about to explain how. Because...
But respectfully, I'm interested in what the text says, bro. I don't know if you get that yet.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about it.
Okay.
So with the last slide,
So does it say it's a clarification of all things?
Yes, yes, it is.
Thank you. So not all things that you need, all things.
Yes, well, okay, so then, with the guy before, you then went on to, with this
3:7, 3:7 that says that there are some unspecific verses that are the foundation of the book and other verses that are unclear.
Yeah. And then you use like a specific example to show what's unclear.
That was just for fun, but just this right here. One verse says that it's a clarification of all things, while the other one says that there are some things that are clear, some things that are not clear. So it's not a clarification of all things according to that verse.
So if I give you a book and let's say it's a book about physics, I give you a book about physics and I clarify everything there is to know about physics in that book. I've clarified all things. But then if I also add unclear things into that book, not unclear, the word was unspecific, right? If I
so they are unclear if they're not specific.
Well, how? So, all right. So you know, when with unclear and specificity, if I get there's a story and I say I sat down on the table. If I don't say I sat down on the wooden table, I'm missing specificity there, but I'm still making it clear. Does that make sense? So I can be clear about something, but that doesn't mean I have to go into specifics. Do you see the distinction?
What is a clarification? What does that mean?
Clarification means if there are things Muslims are disputing over, or not even Muslims, anyone's disputing over, the Quran will come down and clear up anything. So anything.
It doesn't say that. What does the word clarification mean, man? That's all I'm asking.
The dictionary.
What does the word clarification mean?
The dictionary definition of clarification.
Yeah, what is that? What does it mean? What does it mean to clarify?
So it's an explanation that makes something clear or easier to understand.
So it's an explanation that makes something clear and easy to understand. It's an explanation. This is why I like this. It's an explanation. Go to, for example, chapter 12, verse 1 of them. A clarification makes something clear. So it's not going to be ambiguous. If it's clear, a clarification of all things. All of it's going to be clear. None of it is going to be unspecific, ambiguous, nothing like that. The very last verse.
Verse 111.
Yep, it's going to echo what 1689 just said.
Okay. In their stories, there is truly a lesson for people of reason. This message cannot be a fabrication, rather it is a confirmation of previous revelation, a detailed explanation of all things, a guide and a mercy for people of faith.
So not only is the Quran a clarification of all things, but it's a detailed explanation of all things, right?
Yeah. So again, in their stories, there is truly a lesson for people of reason. This message, so the message of Islam, cannot be a fabrication. Rather, it is a confirmation of previous revelation, a detailed explanation of all things. So a detailed explanation of all things relating to the previous revelation in that context.
Oh, stop it now. Stop it now. But let's go with it. So it's a detailed explanation of all things concerning previous revelation.
Yes.
Not the Quran, but previous revelation, right?
A detailed explanation. Rather, it is a confirmation of previous revelation.
A
detailed explanation of all things, a guide and a mercy.
So the Quran is a detailed. It's not only is it a confirmation of the previous scriptures, but it's also a detailed explanation of all things, and it's also a guidance, and it's also a mercy for those who believe, right?
Yeah.
So it's talking about the contents of the Quran itself.
Yes.
It confirms the previous scriptures.
Yes.
The Quran is detailed about all things. The Quran is a mercy and a guidance for those who believe.
Yeah.
So not just about previous revelation, but everything in the Quran, it's detailed and explained.
Yeah. All right. So in this verse, yes, a detailed explanation of all things means all things. The other two verses about clear and specificity. Do you understand the distinction between those two things?
If a verse is unclear or not specified, is it fully detailed?
If a verse is
not specified, if it's unclear.
But no, specificity and clearness aren't the same thing.
Let me go with specificity since let's do that. If it's not specified, Does that mean that it's fully detailed?
Well, one thing, you can't have everything in complete detail. Nothing in scripture can be in complete detail.
Say that one more time. What?
You can't have anything in complete detail.
You can't have anything. You can't have anything in complete detail. So when the Quran says that it has everything in complete detail, the Quran is asserting a lie.
No, it says a detailed explanation of all things. It doesn't say a complete detail. It says a detailed.
All right. Thanks, baby.
I had to go to my fiance to get recharged, to get re-encouraged to continue this.
Sorry, can I explain the difference to you?
You want to explain the difference of something being a detailed explanation of everything, but not having every detail?
Yeah, so you said the distinction yourself there. A detailed explanation of all things is different to saying I've given every detail in this explanation of all things. It's literally the English language. You're laughing, but it's true. So if I say something, this is a specific story, and this is a specific story about Adam and Eve, or this is a story about Adam and Eve with all the specifics. Do you understand how those are two different things? You don't understand.
If the Quran says it's a detailed explanation of all things.
Yes. So does detailed implied gives every detail?
Yes. Of all things, yes. It's a detailed explanation of all things. That means it gives every detail. All the details. All.
Saying something's a detailed Okay, so are there detailed stories in the Bible?
Yes.
Okay. In those detailed stories of the Bible, can you give just one quick example? A quick example of a detailed story in the Bible.
Sarah gave birth at the age of 90.
Okay. Now, that's a story. You're saying it's a detailed story. If I then add that person gave birth at the age of 90 in this place, is my explanation not more detailed than yours?
Yes.
But you just said yours was a completely detailed explanation.
No, I didn't. I said it's detailed. I didn't say it's fully detailed.
Exactly. Just like in the Quran, when it says a detailed explanation of all things, it doesn't mean completely detailed. It doesn't mention every detail.
Wait, hold on. Notice the difference here. What I just gave you was something that was detailed, but not fully detailed. It wasn't a detail of all things of the story. So
no.
I would be falling short of the statement.
I understand what you're saying.
If I were to say I'm giving a detailed explanation of all things, yet I leave out where she gave birth, that's not all details. That's not details of all things.
No, a detailed explanation of all things means it gives a detailed explanation of all the things written in the Quran. All things means of everything written in the Quran. Detailed is the adjective used. It's what describes the stories. Just like when I asked you, can you give me a detailed explanation from a Bible? You said this person gave birth at the age of 90. Then I gave you an example of a more detailed story of that version of that story.
So I didn't have all the details, right?
Exactly, but you said it was still detailed.
So there's a difference between having some details and then having all the details, right?
Yes.
Okay.
But it doesn't say.
So if the Quran says it gives all the details,
no,
right?
it doesn't. No, it doesn't. It says a detailed explanation of all things.
All right, my brother. Thank you for coming through. You were very respectful. This is where I gotta end it right here. Okay, I'm gonna let the next guest come up. All right.
Okay. That's fine.
You have a beautiful day, man. Good talking to you, bro.
Good talking to you too.
All right. Take care.
Yes.
But I like everything. I like everything. But I like everything. Allah gave me face, Allahu Akbar, Subhanallah. But Allah gave me faith, Allah gave me faith, but Allah gave me faith, Allah gave me faith, but Allah gave me faith, Allah gave me faith, Allah gave me faith, Allah gave me faith.
What do you think about what the past guest said? Do you think he was making sense?
I think it was kind of stupid, but
You're a Muslim, right?
yeah.
All right. Just making sure. Did I pay you to come up here?
Huh?
Did I pay you?
No, you didn't.
Okay. Just
No, you
making
didn't.
sure. All right. So you're not one of my paid actors. Dang it.